Hey everyone, and welcome to another. This is a kind of a poker rant, poker chat, where we're going to be talking about the best duo in the game. If you want to get to Master 1600 in a jiffy, get yourself a Blissey and a Duraladon.
That's right.
That's the team. That's the combo. You got damage and support all in a perfect package, both with amazing synergy. So I'm a Blissey player, and my partner B Real here is the Duraladon player, and we're going to give you some tips right now. Starting with laning.
Yes, sir. And let me tell you guys, we have been playing since the inception of this game. This has been 8 seasons of experience in the making. So take our wording and heed our advices here. And this is how you do it. If you're struggling to get there, if you're in vet, you're in ultra, you're low masters, follow these tips.
Yeah, and I mean, first of all, you want to clear that first lane really fast. Make sure if you're a Blissey player, have yourself an XP share on. That's really important. And remember that you really are the front line for your Duraladon player. You are the tank. It doesn't matter if you have a tank on your team. You're not only healing, you're also going to be taking that damage for them and making the space that they need and trying to really bully and steal any wild Pokemon early on.
That's right. Hey, you want to talk to them about the different moveset you use? Ninja?
Yeah. I mean, I'm horrible with the move names, but just remember how you need to make sure that you know, depending on what the team you're playing is. If there's a lot of hindrance, a lot of people that are going to jump in on you, you're definitely going to want to take that shield, because the shield is going to remove that hindrance if it's a Gengar who's trying to use a combo on you, a hex combo or anything like that, or even if you have a Mammo who's going to try to pick you up with the ice, or even Ninetales, any of these type of hindrances, Wiggly. This is going to help Duraladon get out of those, because his tail was unfortunately nerfed, so he's got less options to really just get out, you know what I mean? So you really want to choose that if that's the case. And if that's not, there's not a lot of hindrance, go ahead, get yourself some soft-boiled eggs and heal everybody up, because there's nothing better than just straight heals.
I can't tell you the number of times Blissey has saved my butt, because I just trust Lone Ninja so much, get so much Blissey experience to choose the right moveset in the right situation for the right team comp that will save me, right? Because I'm just a little squishy little, I don't know, I'm like a little rock dragon, steel dragon over here. Yeah, it seems intimidating, but anything that jumps at me, I pretty much die to. And Blissey is the only one that's keeping me alive and keeping me going. And so the next thing we want you guys really know about is about the Q, right? And how you really gotta watch your Q timing, right? So usually in a game of Pokemon Unite, you can get to, I would say, 20-30 second, right, Nolinja?
Yeah, it's usually about the right time
before the Q pops. But beyond that, it started going this little message, right, that pops up that says expanding your matchmaking, right, or expanding your selection.
Expanding those parameters.
Bad. Very, very bad. Stop that from happening. When you see that message pop up, stop matchmaking, stop the queue, and let it start over. Because what happens is, if you let us expand matchmaking, bad things happen, right? You get these really weird matchups. When you say,
you get weird combinations. I would say that in this game, there are a lot of different player skill levels, and unfortunately the game still does not let you know if you are, and I'm going to say it, if you are not a knowledgeable player and you are playing your Pokemon incorrectly, you have the wrong items, or you don't know what objectives to go to, but you won a lot of games, you might get matched up with people like this in Masters. And it's just like, what? Well, that's just what they had available, or that's just the kind of, duo that they had on point at that time. And you really end up having to tell yourself, okay, we might be doing not only 50% of the team's damage, but we've had moments where we've had to do literally the entire game as a duo and win.
Oh man, if only we have saved that 2v5 clip, bro. But anyway, the legend of that will never be known except for us, because we did not save to record that clip. Anyway, the next tip we want to introduce you guys is the importance of knowing the leveling timing, right? So there's a lot of farm that pops up on this map, and being able to be there in the first moment is so crucial, right? And it's weird to say this, but sometimes your even your own teammate is kind of blocking you from getting the necessary farm you need, right? And as a duo matchup, we can't have that, right? We need to be at a certain level, optimally at least 13 if possible by the time raid spawns. So if we can't reach that level, we just don't get all our moves, right? We don't get the plus moves, or we don't get the stats we need to really get to that point. So it is so important to know, when the bee spawns, knowing when the center bee spawns, knowing when the back stuff is going to come back up, and just getting all these timings down. Even the Reggies at the bottom, which gives global XP for your team.
Exactly. And all those B timings or those spawns now, you're going to want to know them, because when, as a Blissey player, you're able to really last hit a lot of them, even through difficult timings like Mew's laser. I'm calling it a laser, but even through Mew's beam, Venusaur's razor leaf, you have the potential to even hit those and steal those wild Pokemon through those timings. So you just have to, get used to it and know that, hey, these things are going to help your Duraladon level up, because if you can come out of the bottom lane early on at level 10, at level 11, you're ahead of the game. You're setting yourself up for a good run at level 14 by the end of the game, at least. Yep. Definitely 13, which is powerful in the in-game fight.
Yeah, we had games, me and Ninja, where we would be losing the whole time, but because we just recognize all the farm possibilities on the map, we're able to catch back up, right? And which brings us really tip number 4, right? Don't really have that mentality that if you lose lane, just give up.
Exactly.
Just farm up, right? Just farm up. This game is not that long. It's only 10 minutes in length. They basically create an ecosystem where if you lose lane, you get down field goals. They give these amazing things called these comeback XP wild Pokemons, right? And they provide immense amount of experience to let you catch up, right?
Exactly.
And it's just important to just not have that. I don't know how many times we see that give up message that pops up, right? As soon as something goes bad.
Just don't give up. Just don't give up.
Don't give up, man. This game is all about comebacks, right?
I have been even the worst on our own duo team about this. And, I've had to have Be Real tell me a lot of the times, like, yo, man, it's okay. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. And here's honestly what you have to kind of understand too, is that it just comes down to that, right? That's it. You have a chance to steal, and as long as you position, which we'll talk about later, because there's a lot about positioning. But even on the screen now, first of all, we did lose lane. You saw us lose lane a little bit early on, but we came back strong. And you can see how I'm always, for the most part, trying to be in front of Jay or Duraladon. I'm always trying to be in front, moving from front to back, and really just trying to be a tank when that damage comes in. So just keep that in mind as a Blissey player. You need to know that damage boost is a great move set as well, because more eggs is great if you want to extend Duraladon's range. If you want to get people who are out of the range in the back line, like Gardevoir or Decidueye, you can extend his range by being in front and tossing your eggs, and then he'll move up and actually try to pick up those kills too. That's a strat. It just depends on the situation, depends on who you're fighting against. So just remember that too.
Absolutely. Just never give up, never surrender. At least until someone steals the ray, from under your nose. Yeah. But tip number 5, okay, do a bottom objective first, right? So me and NinjaTrixta really have thought about this and really have studied this, and we just discovered that it's just not worth all 5 people rotating like on the old map to the top Reggie, which is really the pushing one, right? The objective pushing one, but really just focus on knocking down the bottom one, which still gives a good amount of global XP, which makes it worth it, right? Just think about giving XP to your whole team, no matter how well they're doing. And over the course of a time, if you just get multiple of those Reggie, it really just adds up, Everyone gets a little bit of a level boost. Everyone gets a little bit of a leg up, so that by the time you do have this huge fight that breaks out around the Ray at the end, you can feel that little bit of advantage. It's gonna really build up and give you that little edge to win that team fight, that crucial team fight at the end.
It really is. And another thing that we discovered is when you're going into that Ray fight, and unfortunately I died earlier before it. You as a Blissey player, and we've even gone back and forth on this, but number one thing, always save your egg for the Duraladon. Always save your ult for the Duraladon, because that's when you're going to give him that increased damage buff, and if you're running damage buff on top of that, that's double, and it's just a melting machine. It goes in crazy, and also you're going to do a good bit of damage once you get good at it, of just kind of smushing the enemy and catching them in that ult too. So once you get good, you're gonna have to learn how to control like who you're targeting, because it gets kind of crazy, but just learning that is very key.
And speaking of key NinjaTrixta, we're moving to number 6, which is melt from the top of the key.
Melt
maybe
from the
we can
top,
show a little graphic of this, but we're basically talking about the area in Ray, which is I'll say the top half, the little arc, right, at the top of the race circle. And why we say that, because this game is kind of like in a viewpoint where it's a little bit hard to see the top side, right, the top view of the map.
Right,
and
right.
So letting yourself be at the top of the key means you eliminate a little bit of the chances of someone just coming from the top unknowingly, and this happens to me and NinjaTrixta multiple times.
Delphox.
Stealing it, and you're like, what just happened? Who just stole that, right? And it's just the most frustrating thing when that happens.
It's a lot of the range characters, Delphox, Glaceon. If you're talking about a Machamp or anything that's a little bit more of an all-arounder, they're always going to come from the bottom. Tanks will hop in from the bottom as well. But it really is
a Mew Beam, right?
A Mew Beam, yeah. You have to always have one of your duo if you can, Blissey usually, or both of you. That's the best situation. After that team fight, just go into the top and just start melting from there. And I think that's it. Once you kill 2 or 3 people around the Ray, hopefully you get a team wipe. But if not, once you kill around 2 or 3, that's when you want to start pushing that Ray's health down and also feeling out the fight to see who you can actually make, how much further you can get and try to steal that Ray.
Yeah, NinjaTrixta just gave away a last tip basically, but tip number 7 here, that rule of thumb is, this is a flip game, honestly, right? It's a flip game at the 2-minute mark, and you want to give yourself the biggest advantage and ability to flip. And basically the rule of thumb that we came up with is, if you're able to go in there, crush 1 or 2, that is the best time for you to just start melting, start flipping that Ray, because statistically you have the upper edge. They come in one by one after that. You can just kind of kill them off, and you can just take that chance and just take Ray, right? Because at some point you got to do it. And if you can turn that game into a 5v3, that's as good as it gets, right? Sometimes to do, especially if you're behind in the game.
Exactly. And to kind of cap it all off, we talk about this all the time. This is the whole reason that we did this deal, and I've got it on screen right now, even though you can't see Duraladon as well. The whole purpose of this team is that, don't worry, Blissey, don't try to do a bunch of damage, don't try to do a bunch of kills. If anything, be in every fight as an assist. If you go 0-19, that's amazing. Your Duraladon needs to constantly always hit that 100k mark. It doesn't matter what happens in the game, you hit 100k and know that your Duraladon is pumping out damage, getting those kills, and making those plays.
Absolutely. Know your role, right? Know your role. We have seen some support goes out there and really built no shield, no healing, any kind of movesets, and they try to go out there and do damage, right? That's not their role in this MOBA. And basically, by you doing that, the team is expecting you to provide certain things for the team, and you're not doing that. You're trying to be an attacker, right? That's gonna mess up the flow of the team. That's gonna give you guys no team synergy to work with, especially around a big team fight. And that's not what you want to happen. The reason we played these 2 champions, we try to create basically as much synergy between us as possible, so that we can.
Yep.
Ignore the one player who decided to maybe AFK for a little bit, and ignore the person who might not come to Ray even to fight for us. And we just say, we're going to do it because me and Blissey, we trust each other. He's going to egg me at the right time. He's going to ult me at the right time. We'll just become this carry machine that's going to take us all the way to the top. And at the end of the day, remember, all you need is a 50% win rate, right?
Oh, that's true.
You're gonna net up, right? You're gonna net up. So don't falter if you lose a couple games. See if you're hitting that 500, and that's what matters.
That's it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's what we wanted to tell you. The new season 9 has started, and we believe that because Blissey and Duraladon, they are still high top tier characters. And if you are looking to play a duo, if you don't want to run a Cinder Elder or Venusaur Elder, or I'm going to say something else with Elder, if you don't want to run any of those, I would say these are a great duo pair. But just be warned, it does take a while. Like, you are going to have some learning experience because you've got to put yourself out there, and you've got to kind of, as characters that don't have a lot of defense, who might just have a lot of health and squishy health, really have to kind of push the opponent and really play. And one thing, just to let you all know, we do play on the Asia servers. I'm over here in Japan. My homie's out in the US on the West Coast. We usually are in Asia servers. We've played with Koreans, Japanese people, Singapore. We've been all over, and we've had some tough games throughout this combination. So if you don't just know, we ain't slacking. We playing with some top players over here, bro.
We're playing. Man, this isn't some NA noobs here, man. We're playing with the people who are trying to are the esports types who are trying to make this into a competition for real.
Playing with the sweaties
for money, for the prize money, for real.
And we only play maybe less than 10 games a day because we both work. We have other responsibilities, so we're not even playing that max college grind. We ain't even on the college grind, people. Yeah. So if you on the college grind or any other grinds, just know you about to hit the 1600, 1800 range on record speed probably.
Yeah, this is for the working man who can't put in that much time. Or if you're playing multiple games and said, man, I just want to get that badge, man. How do I get that 1600 badge? Well, this is as good of a duo as you can pick to get there. And plus, It's just more fun to play with a friend, right? If you can grab a friend that can do it with you, it's much better than a solo queue experience. Exactly.
Anyways, that's gonna do it for us, and we'll see how we do this season. We're starting fresh from Ultra 4, I believe, 3 or 4, something like that, and we'll see how fast we can kind of get to Masters and pump through the rest of it with our combo. So that's gonna do it for us this time, and we hope to see you again later. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's get that repeat.
Repeat.
Bye, guys.